Well, good evening, everyone. Gorgeous weather outside there, and instead you've chosen to sit inside and watch us. I don't know if I want to thank you or ring you an ambulance because you've obviously gone insane. I'm not on my own tonight. I do have a partner in crime. I have a certain Andrew. Oh, there we are. Hello, Andy. How you doing?
I'm right, sir. I'm right. Not so bad.
Very good, very good. And we do have an Ed, but he just remembered something and he had to go.
He's MIA.
To be honest, he'd forgotten to get dressed this morning, and he just remembered that he was coming on, nude. So he's gone to get dressed. Trust me, it's for the best. It's for the best. Who have we got in the chat? We've got Ben. He's waving a pink hand. Beyond the Lights. Hello there. I've seen you in the chat a couple of times now. I don't know who you are. I don't recognise the name. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you have a good time when you watch us back later. Do you have a clue who he is, Andy?
Not a clue.
No. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Buford, how we doing? I know it's a little bit garish, but it's a man's shirt. Trust me, it's a man's shirt. I'm not a lady. Is this the Blue Oyster Bar Hangout? No, you'd have to contact Phil about that one. Yep. Martin's with us. Of course, Martin's with us. Martin's here. We're all those to each other. Blue Oyster Bar. Where is Phil? There we go. Yeah. Joe, how you doing, mate? How you doing? You're throwing those shorts out like mad, aren't you?
All the shorts.
No. Here he is. He's dressed.
Here he is. He's dressed. Yeah.
Luke's with us. Hello, Luke. How are you doing? Yeah. Switching channels constantly, this guy.
Mario.
All the hellos to each other. Mario! How are you doing, Mario? Your new film's out, isn't it? How's it doing? How do you know we're not in the garden? I would have my voice playing loud enough in the garden to be heard. Rudy! How are you doing, Rudy? Are you well, mate? And Patrick, I think. I'm almost
comments.
Hello, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that I might not have done.
We do all the howdy doodlies.
Hello, Josh. How are you doing?
Josh.
You well?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, there we are. Sorry, I have to filter through because you're all saying hello to each other, and we don't need a million messages up on the screen, do we?
No.
Anything pertinent, of course. Ed, how are you doing?
Splendid. How are you?
Not bad. Zombies inferior. I've still got a couple of those hanging up at the shop. I must have had them 15 years now.
You are sorry?
Those t-shirts, I've still got a couple hanging up at the shop. Can't shift the bloody things.
What, these? Where'd you get them from?
Dave Ment, I believe it was. Was it Dave?
Ah, cool.
I think
what size?
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. They might be on black as well rather than blue.
Right.
I'm not sure now. Or it might be a navy blue. Anyway, moving on. How are we all? Are we raring to go? Are we ready? Are our brains baked?
Brains baked, yes. Ready to go? Don't know. We'll see.
I love the little Autobot light. I say that as though I've never seen one before, but I like it. It stands out very nicely. I like it. Yeah.
Cool. It's usually I used to have it under the desk.
Oh, okay.
To illuminate my paraphernalia under there. The what?
Testes.
No. My sound system, my printer, a Bluetooth hub, my USB hub, my PC.
I understand why you would do that, because I normally have to take my phone with me down when I'm investigating things of that nature. Yes.
You take your phone with you when you go down.
I think for that.
Yes, exactly. For that very, very reason. Yes. Don't go into the light.
Oh, goodness. Right, okay. I suppose 6 minutes in, we need to start doing something, don't we?
Yeah.
We're in the mood tonight. Do we want to have a very brief segment of toy news?
Aye.
Yeah. I figured. I mean, I have actually got something queued up, but I've just realised I want to queue something else up instead. So I'll get rid of that. And I'll queue something else up instead.
so much.
I'll be that. There we go.
Greeting, Dave.
Was Dave joined us?
Dave has joined us.
There we are. So yeah, I thought we'd take a quick talk about this because I think it's bloody lovely, and because I forwarded it on to Ed and I haven't spoke to him about it yet, he probably thinks it's terrible.
It looks strangely familiar to me.
I quite like it.
But isn't that just Mythic Legions?
It is. It is, yes. It's
Oh, it actually is Mythic Legions, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive.
yeah. What have they called? It's Do you think it's going to be an actual Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, or do you think it might be exclusive to them in the US and available outside through somewhere else?
I honestly wouldn't like to say. However, if I was to go on past things, they don't tend to filter down very often.
Do they not? Okay.
No. The Fresh Monkey Fiction stuff, the majority of that tends to be Big Bad Toy Store exclusive stuff.
Right.
But I don't know how they've done it, but congratulations for them doing it. But Kapow Toys have negotiated with Fresh Monkey Fiction to do the Crimson Moon figures. So basically the 6-inch inspired by Action Force stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe initially it will. I mean, or maybe after an initial run, it may come to Store Horseman, or it may end up, filtering down in, maybe the authorised retailers here in the UK will get it, or who knows? Who knows about any of these things? It is nice. It's not a new figure. There's a lot of repurposed and reused parts on it. The colour scheme's different.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to have gone for a more the face sculpt for the knight looks a bit Eastern.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah.
Mm.
Colour look to it, isn't there?
But
Evening, Tim.
but yeah, it's
Cool.
it's nice. Two good colours, red and black. It looks like it's got soft goods on it.
That Fresh Monkey owned by Big Bad now. Is that right?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Nice pair of gauntlets as well.
Yeah.
I've already seen negative comments about this online, which I find quite amusing. Complaining over the price of it and the fact that it's got fewer accessories than normal.
Why? How much is it?
$60, which to us would be about 45 quid, and I wish that I could get this into the shop for 45 quid because I think I could sell a few of them. But,
Well, I mean, to be fair, I kind of support them on the price bit because that type of figure usually over in the States would be about $25.
is that including tariffs?
Well, no, that'd be if you went to Store Horseman and that kind of figure with those kind of accessories, you'd be looking to pay about anywhere between $22 and $25 for it.
Okay.
All right. Gosh.
So it is quite a premium.
Okay. See, I've heard you say this to me before about 20 and 25, but whenever I've looked, I've never been able to find any for that price.
Then, well, you're there.
I mean, that's a hell of a price point for quite a large figure. I mean, that seems very reasonable. Then maybe that's just normal in the States.
I mean, the Legion. I mean, the Legion builder ones, the Templar Legion builders, they're 22. I think they are. I think they were $22. The Skeleton Legion builder.
Good evening, Chris. How are you doing, sir?
I think that were only $23. So they don't. I mean, that probably.
That looks good.
Cheers, Zelda. That was really kind of you.
I mean, I think the recent one was very similar to that. That was blue. I think it had blue on it, and I think Emporium of Cool were doing that at about 45, 50 quid. So I mean, which tracks for over here because they do tend to the exchange rate doesn't really work out in our favour for the Mythic Legion stuff.
Yeah, I believe I had the same one in at 50 as well.
I don't feel like the thing on top of its helmet is going to strike fear into the heart of the enemy, but I could be wrong.
Don't know, what is it?
I like it with the alternate head. I think it looks far better with the alternate head there. That looks cool.
But yeah, it's all right. It'll. I'm sure people will pick it up.
Apparently, regular size horsemen start at 37.
So this is smaller than normal, is it?
I don't know.
You know, I think this is a regular. They're calling this anyway the unwavering soldier.
Ah. Yeah.
I think if mine was bigger than his, he'd waver.
What, sorry?
I said I think that if mine was bigger than his, he'd waver. I mean, judging by the size of that spear, it's not likely to be, but...
Right.
I even reckon he'd waver if you threw a machine gun towards him, you know.
Yeah.
Threw a machine gun towards him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Dave's right. You can always guarantee on someone heading to Google to prove you wrong or to try and catch you out. You know, I really miss the days of, you know, back in the day when you'd have a conversation and people would just go, "Oh, right, okay." And they didn't feel the need to take off somewhere to try and prove you wrong. You know.
We live in a fact-checking world now. In the world of Trump, you have to fact-check.
Yeah, we live in a world full of ADHD narcissists. That's what it is.
You know, though, I wouldn't be surprised if they were 22 to 25 before the tariffs came in.
I don't know. But
And do you know what bugs me the most about that? That we have to pay it. You know, it's like, well, instead of shipping it to the US and then to us, just ship our stock straight to us. I mean, for one thing, you're cutting out one lot of shipping, and then you're also cutting out the tariffs. You know, you could sell more of them because they'd be cheaper.
Right now, we're all paying for the...
He'd waver against Uffick. I know what you mean. What was it? Uffsake. Ucksake, that's it. Sir Ucksake. Because I said it was one letter off, fuck's sake. Or whatever his name is. But yeah. Dave, shouldn't you be busy playing a game tonight?
Dave too has joined the chat.
Good to have you with us. Hello, Dave. You were feeling sorry for me earlier because he was watching my Minecraft stream where I lost everything. I'm showing people saying hello to Dave. And that's a group of them. So the four you see, you know, two either side, are all the same figure, just dressed up differently. And then the guy in the middle is who leads them. Which, that's a bit of a brute in itself. That's a cool looking figure, but I don't think I'd be interested in that one myself. But those knights look very nice. They do.
He looks like Godzilla dressed up as a knight.
I can see a little bit of Godzilla there, yeah. Watch out for his atomic breath.
Yeah.
Giving them ideas.
That'd be quite handy on the battlefield, that.
They do steal all their ideas from everywhere else, don't they? Right, I'll remove that. I'll shrink Andy back down because that was a little terrifying then.
Is that all the news there was?
That's all that I've got on my computer, but I thought if you wanted to, we could have a look through Toy Arc if you guys want to. That's entirely up to you. If you think that tonight's topics are going to be adequate, then we'll go straight into that if you like.
I don't mind, either way.
You pitched them, both of them.
I'm happy to go wherever it takes us.
Yeah.
Game night's off till Saturday. That's a shame for you. Although you get to put up with us. Wonderful. I'll remove that anyway. Exit screen share. There we go. Well, I tell you what, we could always do a little bit of toy news later if we feel we need to pad it out, don't we?
Sure.
We'll start off, since it's the titular topic, we'll go with Ed's. Ed, would you like to lead tonight's topic?
Not particularly, no. I thought Andy could go first. No, I don't know.
So it's called the stream.
Actually, no, yeah, maybe Andy should go first because the topic he suggested, he did actually suggest it a few weeks ago, didn't he? And we didn't get round to it.
Did he? Okay, Andy. Away you go, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, so I mean, this one might like sputter and die in 2 seconds flat, but we'll see. So
I've been there and done that.
So the thought that sort of fluttered into my mind was basically why toys, or sort of in sort of existential terms, why do we as a civilization create stuff like the stuff behind Gareth's head and Ed's head? Because it serves no practical survival purpose to a civilization whatsoever. So why do we spend resources producing stuff like that?
I'm fairly sure you pitched what is a toy, which I took as what makes a toy a toy.
Yeah, but no. Well, but in my head,
Okay.
the pitch was more sort of, at what point in sort of in a culture do we start deciding that it's okay to do toys? Because the reason this came to my mind is that when I sort of look at a toy, I see an expression of imagination. It's not an essential item. It's actually a luxury item. So really, you only have time to start farting around making pretty toys for kids when your civilization's kind of reached a certain age and you have surplus income to spend on stuff of this nature, because it simply isn't vital. Now, I know that you could have kids making up toys from everyday objects along the way, but it's like sort of it is what is the sort of the driver behind toys? Is it education? Is it fun? Why do we as a culture deem it acceptable to expend resources on toys when there are now this many of them out there, and it's not just a finite number of suppliers producing them anymore?
If you go the psychology route, the psychology definition of a toy, or the purpose of a toy, is that it's through play children use toys or create toys to help them develop the social set skills that they will use and need in later adult life. Which would explain a lot of adults that I know.
Your sound cut out then, Ed.
Did it? Fantastic, excellent. No, I was saying that the psychological aspect or definition of a toy is something that children create or children use to role play and to learn and develop the social skills that they will need to use as adults. That's the psychology behind toys and what a toy is for. Is to help develop.
And I think if you go back even further than that, the reason behind toys, so why toys, would be you had to give something to the kids to keep them occupied so that you could get on with doing whatever it is you need to do. If you go back to sort of like hunter-gatherer times, you might have given them a rock just to gnaw on.
The hunter-gatherer periods that you're referencing, they wouldn't have to have given them anything to keep them occupied, because the children would have been at home or in the cave with the women. The men would have gone off and done the hunting and the gathering while the women stayed at home to raise and occupy the children. But even then, like someone's just mentioned in the chat there's examples of toys being used thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. So it's like, that I think that, again, from a psychology point of view, children just have this innate drive to, well, first of all, the first toys that I would assume that they play with will be the toys that, like in modern day, what we give them, but back then, it probably would have been the everyday things that they found around them that they were picking up and using to try and mimic the behaviour of the adults around them. So they may have picked up a stick, pretending it to be a spear, or things like that. So it's like I say, from that point of view, it's
Well, on
like
board, Phil.
a preparation and a development tool to prepare for adult life.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a sort of it's a backdoor educational thing, and of course, a lot of stuff that we're bought when we're little is to quietly teaching us about how to read clocks and how to make telephone calls and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, all the little kitchens, the kitchen
Yeah.
dolls. Dolls are given to girls to prepare them for
Motherhood.
motherhood duties, if you will, and things like that. It's
And the iron and the kitchen and things like that. That's down to teach them how to look after their husbands as well.
well,
Now get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich.
maybe in the mid to latter parts of the 20th century. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't argue with you on that.
But
I reckon tea sets probably go back even further than that.
maybe. But see, the thing is, this is the thing with it, though, isn't it? Because we've moved way beyond that. Because I'm not actually aware that a transforming robot teaches us any of those things, and is unlikely to exist in the real world.
But
So-
using your example there of transforming robots,
Wait for it.
the transforming robots are just a product where the cartoon or comic serves the purpose of giving you the educational lesson of right and wrong, and giving you the stimulus to go on and then create your imaginative play past that with the product that the company is selling.
Potential.
That's a really good point, is that, Luke? Even pets and animals have toys.
Well, the thing is, ultimately, as a matter of, I mean, think about where we are now societally, right? Like, if we go back to your hunter-gatherer position that you were mentioning before, and consider.
I wouldn't, because Ed blew it out the water.
No. But this is a different.
He had a first strike at battleships on that one.
I'm making different points here. We've moved from needing to spend sort of 90% of our time just surviving, having 10% for rest R&R, to maybe sort of we all work during the working week, but relatively speaking, we don't have that pressing survival need that we used to have back in the day. So now we have more leisure time and more downtime, and we're actually looking for ways to fill it. So all of a sudden, our production of toys has become industrialized because kids get bored fast and they have time on their hands because their school day only runs 9 till 3 or whatever. So the rest of the time, the adults are busy, so they've got to keep themselves busy with.
See, I think I'd make an argument that the industrialization of toys was a product of, I would say, if you're gonna like serious about it, I think probably late 70s through the 80s. That's when it's when you had the massive driver of sales of toys through supporting comics, supporting cartoons, because you was using that to advertise the toys.
Yeah, because then we started to get into the era of TV, films, comics as a sort of a rounded thing, and then of course computers start to come in and arguably start to take over some of the roles that toys might have used to play in the olden days. So all of a sudden the computers become educational tools rather than the toys. But I think for me, I see toys, like I said before, I see them almost as pieces of art, in the sense that, barring the really obvious early learning ones, everything else is just completely at will. It doesn't have to look a particular way. It's just whatever the designers have just chosen to make it look like, and that's what sets our expectations. And so it's all just creative products that don't have to look in a particular way at all, and we completely accept that as a society and kind of carry on with it. And now we've got this shift towards people like us who are coming back on this sort of nostalgia curve, and sort of going back into the things that we grew up with, that, as you say, Ed, maybe taught us some morality to some extent. Because we had all those He-Man cartoons that gave us the sort of the moral of the story is at the end of them and all that. And again, that's interesting because that was an American-driven thing. I think the Americans dictated that they had to do that as part and parcel of being able to sell things to kids.
Network or something? That wasn't
Yeah, networks probably, yeah. But there might have been a law telling the networks to do it as well, because they would have done it voluntarily.
Well, it was a thing.
Toys.
It was a bill that had been pushed through Congress saying that, you know, that sort of like that cartoons couldn't be, because companies were using cartoons as just basically 20 to 25 minute toy adverts.
Yeah.
So they had to have some educational value. So that's why the He-Man cartoons would always have the moral thing at the end of it. But I think by the time Transformers, G.I. Joe, Mask and things like that came along, that had been abandoned because it was Ronald Reagan then sort of like abandoned that, and then that's when you had the real ramping up then of the tie-in merchandise, and it went off the scale, you know.
Comics got let off the leash, I would say, probably in the 80s as well, if not a bit before. I think comics had very strict guidelines as well up to a certain point.
Yeah, but the Comics Code of America, wasn't it? The CCA. Yeah.
That was more for things that was deemed unsuitable for kids, like horror and sex and and gore.
I'm sure they probably extended that to politics and stuff as well, I dare say. So.
Well, I mean, I find it interesting with the toy thing that it's kind of like it's probably going to contradict slightly an argument that I've made contrary to the fact in the past, you know, which shows you how kind of the lines are blurred and how the subject can move and change depending on which angle you're coming at it from. But even though, like you mentioned about us, you know, as adults going back to these things and collecting them and things, you know, these toys, whilst yes, in their spirit and their very essence, they are toys because they were made as toys, but in the hands of people like us, they are no longer toys because they're not fulfilling their primary function. You know, because like I say, I've got it's a really bad fucking job. Oh, swore bastard!
He did it again!
Oh, yeah.
Double whammy! But and we didn't even prompt that one.
No, that was self-inflicted wound. That.
God damn it!
What do we win?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Anyway, it's a bad example, but I don't know. I've got nothing to hand. Actually, yes, I have. Here we go. That was made back in 1973. It was a toy. That is, sorry, 77. That was a toy. Yeah,
it is a toy.
For me, but I've got it now. It's no longer a toy because it's not being used and, you know, it's not fulfilling its primary function.
And that brings me back to it being a piece of art now. Do you know what I mean? Because it's
can I just say that considering the condition that it's in, I don't think it's ever fulfilled its primary purpose.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
It's a belter, is that one?
I was speaking generally, but I know what you mean. Yeah. So so these, you know, these things that we hold dear to ourselves now, we're kind of like we're trading off the memory of, like I said, of nostalgia, the memory of 45 years ago of a thing that we played with back then when it was fulfilling its primary function. So really, now a toy isn't a toy. It's kind of a game. You how can I put this? It's like it's connecting with the past that we had vicariously through a static object that's now on a shelf.
Yeah, I would say that most proper toy collecting is done through nostalgia and chasing that hit of nostalgia from it. And I'll be honest with you, I prefer that over the alternative because far too many people are in it for the money. I'm collecting this because it's probably going to be worth more money in the future. Which, to me, that's not a toy collector. That's an investor. And if you're going to invest, you might as well do it in the proper things. And what annoys me so much as well, not annoys me, but entertains me so much as well, is that they then sell it within a year because it ain't gone up, and they lose money on it. It's like, well, were you really expecting it to go up that quickly? So the toys that you're seeing go up in price are 40 years old. You can't expect toys within a year to go up like that.
But
No.
again, you see, and that's another interesting thing. When I say it's like a, they're luxury products, they're not sort of vital things. Think about how much disposable income you've actually got to have to be able to justify buying an ancient toy that's potentially lost its play value to you, which you're simply getting for the kudos or the nostalgia factor, which is, more.
Buford, my friend,
Toy.
if I was in it for the money, I wouldn't have opened a toy shop. 8 years I went without drawing a wage. I deserve every penny of what I earn now. Bless him.
No, the thing is, I mean, this is what I sort of generally enjoy about it. I enjoy the fact that we as a society are sort of open enough that we can just make completely random tosh in the hope that someone will actually make it. But that random tosh is actually demonstrating that there are artistic types out there who can still do that and make a living from it, which I think is a great balance into, to counterpoint all the more serious stuff that we have to do at the same time. We've actually, we've put ourselves in a position, at least in the sort of the first world, if you like, where we've sort of, food and eating and shelter and stuff, generally speaking, aren't issues. And now we're looking around for other stuff to, to fill our time and spend our money on. And it's kind of, this is just one of those many, many avenues that we can do that with. But I think it's one of the more creative ones, actually. Because like you say, people aren't just rehashing the same things; they're actually reinventing them at the same time, which is great, and it's just creative, which is lovely. So, yeah.
But there is, I think, there is a lot of. I mean, if you take, for example, what's being churned out now, it's specific, like within the take it with it. Remove the sort of like the kids buying toys aspect of it, but like the collectors, there is a lot of repetition with what's been churned out, as you say. And there's and it's just there's I think there's it almost feels sometimes that it's getting to the point where it's stalling and they're running out of ideas. Yeah.
I think there's a very clear risk of the snake eating its own tail and becoming sort of ever smaller as a result, because there is still the commercial imperative to make money off doing it.
There is, yeah. I mean, the one example that just came to mind then when I was saying what I was saying is, and it just is when you look at the turtle figures, how many different variations of the 4 turtles have they done? Yeah, you've got 4 turtles being in every dress-up outfit you could ever think of. Yeah, one day they might even release Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in turtle disguise. So they've been through that many variations.
No. They're just visiting Disneyland and they're dressed up as Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy.
Yeah, so it's like, and then one that I saw the other day was the Ecto 1, but a glow-in-the-dark Ecto 1. Yeah. And it's like, right, okay, yes, glow-in-the-dark toys are pretty cool. I won't deny that. But it's like, whoever asked for a glow-in-the-dark Ecto 1?
But
No, you didn't. Go away.
No, I will elaborate a little bit on that, and I dare say most of the people in the chat already know. Back in the day when they did the original Turtles line, they did do the 4 Ghostbusters in what they called Ectoplasm Glow, and they were glow-in-the-dark Ghostbusters. For I think it was San Diego Comic-Con last year, they reissued those 4 figures, and then they've decided to expand on it, just like Hasbro have done with the retro collection and whatever else, where they've added an Ecto 1 to go with them.
Yeah.
Now they've also announced, or it's just come out, a 2-pack of Slimer and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in glow. I actually wouldn't mind that to go in the,
we see that in and of itself is an interesting one, because from our point of view, that's passé. We've seen it before, we've done it before, we might have missed it first time round, so we might be grateful for the chance to get it again. But we're like, eh. But for some kid out there who's never seen a glow-in-the-dark figure before. That's cool. And we as old, you know, they aren't. And for a lot of them, this sort of thing is their first time around. But is it still being marketed to them? Or is it actually only being marketed to us?
But you see, that's the thing. I mean, I think it would need a proper study and, like, you know, like a survey doing on it. But if you were to, I don't know, if you were to question, so let's take the prime age for kind of like your toy years. So take it from maybe 6 to 10. Yeah, so from age 6 to age 10. Yeah, I would say those are probably your core prime toy years. Yeah. If you were to take 6 to 10-year-olds at a random school or random area now and ask them questions about toys and things like that, I think you'd struggle to kind of like get any actual overexcitement, interest in actual physical toys. If you were to say, right, okay, we've got this whole bunch of toys here, or we've got a PS5 here with loads of games, they're dead for the PS5.
Or Lego, possibly, but
I don't know. Are kids still buying Lego, or is it adults that are buying Lego?
No, there's more than enough kid sets that adults just wouldn't touch because they're shockingly bad.
And a lot of Lego is aimed very low, you know, young years as well.
Yeah, four plus, isn't it? Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it is interesting, and I do think, you know, it's. I mean, one thing that struck me the other day, which I sort of noted in passing, was that apparently the makers of Fortnite are laying people off left, right, and centre. And I thought that was interesting, because I thought Fortnite was a great sort of pioneer, because it moved from being a game to being a platform. Things like Lego games, actually, you know, modelled off the Fortnite sort of schema. But then, you know, sort of the Lego games were still Lego games, but it was more people running around doing, you know, building stuff. And it's kind of there is a day. I thought that Fortnite would actually manage to keep its momentum. Had kept its momentum going over the course of years, over the course of my son's childhood. You know, Fortnite was like the thing that they were all playing. And they all had a lot of money invested in it as well, in terms of their character skins and everything else. You know, incredible amount of money got put into Fortnite over the course of time. But now it seems like it's tipped off the edge. So I'm sort of thinking to myself, well, okay, if they're not doing Fortnite anymore, what are they doing now? Is it Pokemon cards? Because there seems to be Pokemon cards.
It's not like, I can only speak like for it's like experience I've had myself, but I know that there's a certain, if I'd like take my son and his friends and the age range that they are, they do still play Fortnite, but it's like it's a rolling cycle. There's probably about a dozen or so games that they cycle through, you know, in a month. So they'll spend probably about a week playing that, then they'll spend a week playing another, and it cycles through. From the games I've observed him playing with his friends, there's actually, I think, maybe that it's not as popular. I think it's just that other games and other style of games have caught up to it, and in some respects surpassed it. You know, because they've got more, they're less generic, or they'll have a bit more specific focus, or they'll have features on it. I think I can't remember the name of it, but there's one of them that play, and you don't need to do all the microtransactions like what you do on Fortnite. You know, so I think maybe that could be a case of, like I say, it's not that it's no longer popular, it's just that it's not as popular because other games have kind of got to its level and surpassed it slightly.
It was funny. I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and Mattel were showcasing their new, or offering for sale, I don't know yet, their new DC line that's coming up. Because obviously, at the end of this year, the DC goes back to them, and McFarlane won't be making them anymore. And the amount of complaints I saw now, that the line that they were showcasing was their new core line, which is aimed at kids. And from what I could tell, they look to be 5 to 6 inches tall, They turn at the head. They're not on a ball joint. It's just a twist, turn. Yeah. They look like they might have ball jointed shoulders, a bend at the elbows, and similar on the legs, on the knees. And the amount of people complaining that these look terrible, who's going to collect them? My first reaction was, God, they look great for kids.
Yeah, like, not the point.
Yeah, and all you saw was a load of grown-ass collectors complaining that they weren't good enough for them. It's like, they're not for you. They're for kids. That's who they're meant to be for.
The thing is, though, what kids are going to buy them? What media out there is there to support these toys?
What, Batman, Robin, Joker, and Flash?
Yeah, what I'm talking currently at the moment. What media is out there for kids to support those toys?
The same thing was around back in the 70s, really. Comics and cartoons.
So what's the current Batman cartoon that's on TV at the moment?
I couldn't tell you because I don't follow it.
It depends how young you start. There are countless. If you were to go on to any sort of free... I mean, my LG TV is a good example. I've never really stopped and delved into every single channel it gives me, but it gives me a shed ton of free channels built into it, many of which will be marketing cartoon things at kids. If you go onto Virgin, I think it's in the sort of 700s. Almost all of those channels are kids' channels. I know Jetix is still a thing. There was an equivalent to Jetix from back in the day. So you'll get Cartoon Network and all that sort of stuff, and they're all... I mean, obviously some of them may not be supporting current lines, but you'll get, sort of Junior Batman and Junior Iron Man and all of that sort of stuff is on there.
Batman Cape Crusader is the current cartoon, apparently.
Right. So are these Mattel figures that they're advertising? Are they tied into that specific cartoon?
No, the generic Batman, generic Robin, generic Joker.
But if they're the only ones that are on the shelves right now, then they're the ones that will get bought. Simples.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand in one respect a collector coming out with something like that, because I think for the past however many years, you've had a series, McFarlane have done a series of Batman figures that are, I won't say primarily focused towards the collector, but they've been more popular with the collector perhaps.
Oh yeah, they'll be niche.
Yeah. I mean, all people have done is complain about them for the last 6 years or however long they've been coming out.
So to go then from something that's collector focused or realistic looking, well articulated, to then something that's like, oh, right, okay. Then I get it. I mean, it was like the decision many years and years ago when...
You've gone again, Ed.
Pardon?
You cut out again.
I'm still here.
Hello, we know.
Oh, we can see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why it's cutting out. It shouldn't be. Maybe it's trying
It's just that you seem to go as though you've gone to the other end of the room. It goes that quiet.
Yeah, it's funny.
Would it help if I spoke like this?
Why, yes, it would.
It might.
I'm not Nightcaller.
I remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, kids will still buy toys, but will we get to a point where they become obsolete? Physical toys become obsolete for anyone but toddlers. Because toddlers will always play with physical toys because it's the motor skills and the facial recognitions and all things like that. But as more and more becomes digitized, streaming, downloadable.
I was just going to suggest something, but then I realised how bad an idea that would be. I was going to say maybe we should set up a camera at Smith's Toys, but it's like, no. Filming other people's children is never a good idea, Gareth.
Funny enough, somebody may have tried that.
I was literally meaning just to see how busy it got with kids, that's all.
Well, this is it, but I guess that traditional toy stores have the same problem as every other store at the moment, which is, do they get the footfall anymore to actually, get
I like that. Is it possible that kids don't think toys are cool anymore because their dads still play with them?
Interesting.
I like that, Cammy. I mean, she just she did make us. I'm assuming she. I'm assuming she. Sorry if I'm wrong. You made a very interesting point earlier when you said that you was in Target yesterday, and there were still lots of kids looking at toys, but she thinks that the Nerf blasters are probably the most popular thing with them, which doesn't surprise me at all. It's toy guns, aren't they? They're toy guns that actually fire something, so that makes perfect sense to me. They can actually get away with shooting their friends, their mum, their dad, and it's all right. So yeah, I can see why that would be popular with kids.
But the thing is, I mean, again, that just plays into natural human behaviour that boys would be drawn to toy guns,
Yeah, of course.
swords, and things like because it's regardless of how we may like to think that we're intellectualised and we're superior and evolved, we're not. We're still just bloody animals, and we still
Of course we
are, driven by those instincts that we've had for the past 250,000 years. Whether it be actual down and outright physical violence, even to a snide comment, it's still all about conflict and about, battling with other people. So it's something that we'll never get rid of. So those toys probably will always have a place and be popular.
Yeah, because again, I mean, it's interesting because on the sort of morality play side of it,
Kids love to browse the Hot Wheels until a collector punches them out of the way. You want to see what a collector does when they see a kid with a packet of Pokemon cards? Ooh. Ooh.
10 years back, my son had Imaginext stuff. So we got we got him like the Bat Cave and the Bat robot transforming thing, and yes, did I think they were cool? Yes, because I like Batman, so therefore I encouraged those purchases. But they were still in the stores, and I don't think they actually had cartoons for those. Interestingly, so I think Imaginext were sort of purely just there, to be picked up. And that is in and of itself quite interesting because they are basically they're riding on the coattails of the fact that they know the adults are going to say, well, Batman's a superhero and Joker's the bad guy, and they're going to explain it to their kids.
Yeah,
and the kids going to get they see
their dad. The thing is, I mean, they did have there were toys. I mean, if you take out the equation, things like your superhero toys, so your Spider-Mans, your Batman, Supermans, if you take those out of the equation, there was time from say I'd say the 1940s up until probably maybe the end of the 70s. You had toys that were produced just for being toys. They weren't tied into anything. It was just, this'll make a cool toy, we'll produce that. I mean, even like Action Man wasn't tied into any media. It was just
it became its own thing.
Yeah, it was a toy doll. I mean, obviously, it came from G.I. Joe, and G.I. Joe was inspired by by armed forces and things like that. But it wasn't tied to a particular franchise or anything.
To be honest, they still do that. If you walk through toy shops, I mean, mine being a collector's shop, I don't sell that sort of stuff. But they do still do that. You go into Smith's Toys and they do have generic robots on the shelf and generic monsters. They do have army men.
Yeah.
They still have the... Well, they seem to switch between Schleich... I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it Schleich? Who used to do the Smurfs? And is it Peyo or Papo or something? And they'll have all of the animals and the dinosaurs and the knights and stuff like that.
Seen those, Playmobil?
There's Playmobil still, that's still quite a big brand. Although they're taking on a lot of IPs now. They're doing an awful lot of IPs.
I mean, Lego. Lego was never tied to any franchise. Lego was just tied to your imagination.
Or their own franchises. In effect.
Yeah,
Meccano,
Star Wars,
Fuzzy Felts. So it's. I mean, and again, I'm gonna include myself in on this as well. When you talk, think about the subject of toys and things. I think there is also something quite I think there's something also quite sad about adults collecting toys. And I don't mean sad as in you sado kind of thing, get a life kind of thing. I think there's something a little sad to it, that there's a pull or a need to have a connection with something.
Are they 1/18 scale?
From childhood,
Cool.
you know, rather than just sort of like leaving that behind and moving on kind of thing, and maturing and developing and moving on. Yeah, you know, I mean, like I said, I include myself in that because I collect stuff myself. You know, so I think there is a bit of sadness into it. However, you know, it's not that it's a negative thing, because, you know, whatever drives people to collect toys or collect statues, or, you know, will more than likely be the same thing that stems people to collect paintings or cars or ornaments or, you know, antiques and things. I mean, there's a program I watch called Bangers and Cash.
I've seen it.
Matthewson's, yeah. And the majority of people there buy the cars because it reminds them of cars that either they had when they were younger or their parents had. You know, so there's, I think nostalgia does play a large part in it. But again, you circle back then to what you originally said, Andy, about, you know, what is a toy, what makes a toy. Well, when it comes to adult collectors,
Or why toys?
it's not a toy because it's not fulfilling its primary function.
I think it's the ornament thing, to be honest with you. I do. I think it's the ornament thing. We've just chose, instead of little ceramic miniatures that look nothing like anything, we've chosen toys that, you know, make us happy to put on our shelves. Go on, Andy. Sorry.
How many hours do you think you spent creating the display behind you?
Probably not many. Because I tend to sort of like put them in there, and they're thick with dust. That glow, that radioactive glow, is shining through dust. When I do get round to dust them, they'll be even brighter. I tell you. I probably spent 3 or 4 hours when I first did it, and then all I've done since is just sort of like put something in here and there, and you know.
Yeah. But you did also have to source all that stuff in the first place too.
Oh God, yeah.
So you see, for me, you know, yes, we're not playing with them necessarily as much as we used to derive joy from them. But I think now we're being creative with them in a different way, because we're creating displays in creative ways to derive joy from them being in our line of sight on a regular basis, to trigger that nostalgia hit. So I, this morning, was rearranging Corgi and Dinky spacecraft and indeed Kenner die-cast spacecraft onto different size transparent shells. And I saw, when I stopped and took a step back from it, I looked at my watch and went, I'm just spending an inordinate amount of time doing that, but you know what? It was bloody fun. Doing my little arrangements of different things and trying to cram them all in appropriate places to display them in a nice fashion. And it's like, and it was just like, it was that sort of, again, I think for me, it's that creativity thing. It's the sort of, for me, it's been sort of, yeah, you know, sort of got the toys, learn about the toys, meet the people who can supply the toys, and sort of make relationships off the back of that, and then sort of come around, decide how I want to display them, how I'm going to display them, you know, and sort of come up with solutions for that, and then, you know, just come full circle and start upgrading them, and you know, and whatever else. And it's just kind of, it is. I mean, it's a hobby like any other, in that sense. But it's a sort of hobby that does, as you say, Ed, it does feed back into that historical reinforcement bit, if you like, I suppose. But you know, I'm sure a lot of people have had lifelong things that they've always done down the years, and it's no different to that, is it? It's just that, again, it's a societal stigma thing, that, you know, you're too old to have them. Well, we're not really using them as toys as they were originally anymore. We've shifted how we feel about them, but we still derive joy from them. So
it's an interesting thing, because I don't think the stigma's there anymore, because I think and I don't think Pardon?
I think the internet has helped to broaden people's perspectives of what people.
It's still there with some people.
Of course it is. Of course it's like
There's still some people that look down, and as I experienced it a couple of weeks ago.
But I mean But the thing is, though, I mean, it's like I think generally in society it has become more acceptable because of things like I said, because of collecting communities, the internet, and even programs like Big Bang Theory, you know, where it's made geek or nerd culture kind of semi-cool kind of thing. But it's like, I don't know.
Strangely enough, I'm just going to interrupt you there a minute. Strangely enough, thanks to Big Bang Theory, they wouldn't be able to make Big Bang Theory anymore because it's no longer niche.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, me watching Big Bang Theory, I was like, this isn't niche. This is just coming home. It's like
I can't watch it.
that reference. You know?
Yeah. I find it kind of cringy now. I can't watch it anymore.
The thing is, though, it's kind of back when I first started collecting again or picking stuff up.
Shark Attack, hello!
So you're talking what, 1997? Yeah. I would have not broadcast or made it public knowledge that I was collecting stuff, because back in 1997, people just wouldn't have got it. They just wouldn't have understood it. In fact, I can remember, and this was 1999. I had a delivery sent to my place of work, and I can remember a couple of the members of staff saying, "Oh, what have you got?" And I showed them, and it was like, you know, they just sort of like the look of horror and disgust, you know, on the face kind of thing. And it was like, I mean, I didn't care, you know, because it was me. I didn't care. But it was just like, but I just found it interesting. I thought, well, okay, fair enough. You know, that's that. And I think because it was maybe not enough time had elapsed, you know, from the 80s to the late 90s. So, I mean, it was 2 Transformers that I got. But I never recall... And I grew up around a few people that did this. I never recalled such a stigma being aimed towards people that collected diecast. Yeah,
yeah.
You know, I can remember a few adults I knew growing up that collected diecast stuff, and whenever there was like gatherings, the other adults would be like, "Oh, get them out. Let's have a look at them." You know, it was, and these were like, you know, hairy-assed, bloody pint-swilling, you know, fags. You know, these were proper men. You know, we're talking back in the late 70s, early 80s, like, you know, when men were properly men. It's like, you know, so they didn't seem to have this stigma. The only stigma really that people did used to get were the train collectors. You know, they'd get the old kind of like, "Oh, have you got your anorak on?" kind of thing, or your train spotters, you know, things like that. But diecast collectors never, you know, I never saw any experience of the people I knew at the time getting that. You know, so it's a funny thing. Maybe sometimes it's a case of what it is you collect as to whether or not you're going to get any.
I just think that things have a tendency to transition from niche to mainstream. So, like, you know, when I first mentioned somebody that I collected graphic novels, for example, I get some very odd looks. And I always had to say, no, it's not like that. It's just comics. It's not naughty comics. It's just comics. It's Batman and stuff. And they're like, oh, right. Because they used to be really hard to come by in, like, normal shops. Now,
Well, I think there was a time when we had to use the term graphic novel because we didn't like to tell people that we read comics. Oh no, they're graphic novels.
I simply took that as being the compended form. I was not old enough to make those. I was just saying it as I understood it, you know.
But you see, I'd probably suggest maybe, and I'm not suggesting everyone did this, but I would suggest that probably the reason why they said, "Oh, it's graphic novels," was again maybe down to some kind of snobbery, thinking, "Oh no, I'm not collecting comics. These are graphic novels I'm getting." You know, to try and make it sound more adult, more kind of, you know, like, you know, more intellectual than what it is. It's not, no, it's a comic. You know, it's not a graphic; it's a comic. You know, so it's like, you know, so maybe there's like there's a hierarchy in there, a hierarchy of snobbery. And it's like, I've got this. Oh, have you? Well, I've got this. Oh, have you? Oh, I've got, you know, this, because it happens within collectors. You know, there's
Well,
the collecting community is very cliquey and very backstabbing and very, you know, snarky.
but it's funny, see, because I mean, for me, it was purely down to an availability issue.
Right.
I didn't have anywhere near me that was even remotely a specialist comic store, so I was stuffed basically. This was pre-internet, so I either got my 2000 AD monthlies, which I had no problem with, which were just standard format, printed on bog roll kind of reprints of 2000 AD comics.
Pulp, I believe the word is.
Whatever. Or I got annuals every now and again, or when they gradually started to come into places like Smith's, I could actually get actual graphic novels, which are horrendously expensive. They're probably one of the few things that hasn't got more expensive in time, I think. I think a graphic novel today is probably still about the same price it was when they were originally started to come out.
This is quite interesting. Shark Attack Media says that the term graphic novel was derived so the press can talk about the prestigious titles like Mouse, Watchmen, Dark Knight, and it drove him nuts. And the funny thing is that all of those titles were individually released first as comic books. It was only when they were compiled together that they were called graphic novels.
Yes, of course. Reprints. It's just a fancy word for reprints.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah. Collected editions. It's a fancy word for collected editions. Whereas a graphic novel would be a comic that's released as a collected edition that's never been released individually as a comic. That's what a graphic novel should be.
Interesting.
You know, a bigger, thicker, too thick to be your floppy comic, if you know what I mean. But either way, it's still the comic book format.
Did the paperback releases of film adaptations, like for the Star Wars films, I'm thinking, they must have been released serialized as comics, presumably at some point.
What was that? Sorry, Andy.
Well, you know, I mean, I remember I picked up. I've probably still got them downstairs somewhere. Sort of the comic versions of Star Wars and Empire and so on, as little paperbacks.
And they had a comic in the middle.
No, these were full on.
Oh, I know which ones you mean now. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was stills that was in the middle of the novelisation.
Right.
Yeah, no, that was like a shrunk down version of the Marvel comics.
Yeah, see, I probably wouldn't have made that distinction. I just assumed I was buying a comic.
Compendium.
Compendium.
Compendium's a different thing. Hello, Joe. How are you doing, sir? Compendium. Right, okay, you're currently reading through the Walking Dead compendium at the moment, aren't you? That's a collection of the first 8 trade paperbacks, which some people might call graphic novels, and each of the trade paperbacks contains 6 comics.
God.
But see, these titles that we're using, especially that one that does a compendium. A compendium isn't a title that's exclusive to comics. You can get a compendium of other books or magazines or sundries.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
it's a collection of books, isn't it?
yeah.
Usually it's something that's been released before as a book. It might be serialized, and they combine them all into one thing, and that's called a compendium. Yeah.
Because I mean, I can remember back in the day, like with the Transformers, it used to be you had the winter special, summer special.
Yes. Yeah.
But then they dropped that, and then then started getting called the collected comics.
Yep.
You know, so at some point, you know, because that's to my knowledge, the Beano never did that. The Beano did summer specials, winter specials, but they were always unique stories, and they were in different size formats.
Well, I think they were special.
Yeah, but the Transformers, your summer special would just be basically a collection of the previous release comics. Then your winter special, I think it was 1985 when they dropped that. I think it was late 85, maybe early 86. They dropped that, and it went to being called the collected comics.
Okay.
They did an early one, and they only did 2, and it was called the Complete Works. And they only did 2. They were both hardback, like an annual.
Yeah.
And
But
then
I remember with 2000 AD, the mega specials and stuff, they were always new. I think they've. Well, as far as I know, they were new. I don't think they reprinted. I mean, the monthlies were always, clearly reprints, so they said as much. But yeah, very great way to catch up actually before they started doing that humongous graphic novel re-release collection that they did.
Yeah. Dave's saying, weirdly, he read the Star Wars comic before he saw the film, probably because it was released beforehand to build up interest. And that's probably because we got the film, what was it, 3 or 4 months after the States? So the comics were already, in circulation.
Interesting.
Well, it's my recollection is I remember reading.
You're not wrong, Shark Attack.
The comic book adaptation of Transformers the movie before I actually saw the film.
Yeah, that's possible.
Because it had a publication date of January. Did the movie, comic adaptation, but I pretty sure I recall getting that beginning of December because the movie came out over here on the 13th of December.
Right. Okay.
And I'm pretty confident that I read it before seeing the actual movie in the theatre.
Nightfall, Volume 1. Have you read that, Andy? Yeah, I know. I know. They're very different formats of both of those.
But though that to me was Nightfall 1 and 2. That was my Nightfall originally, and then I got all this.
Yeah, that's because they decided to add everything that happened into one thing. So you had the Robin, you had the Catwoman comics, you had
the Night Quest, and
everything that happened in DC related to Nightfall went into that instead of just the Nightfall story. Shack Attack Media says, I think the Star Wars comic came out in the UK before the movie was released there, simply a matter of poor timing. But that's been the norm ever since, because even going into The Phantom Menace in 1999, Attack of the Clones in 2002, and Revenge of the Sith in 2005, I read both the novelizations and the comic book adaptations before seeing the films.
Wow.
Now, to be fair, Phantom Menace I never actually went to the cinema to see, but the other two I did go to the cinema to see. I won't say opening day, but probably opening week, or within a week of them coming out. And
I mean, through the 80s and the 90s, I could kind of understand that because you still had, and it used to be quite a significant time difference. You had the staggered release dates, because I mean, again, I'll just take.
I think we did for Phantom Menace. To be fair,
I'll just take Transformers the movie as an example. That was released in the States in August. We didn't get it till December. So it's.
I remember being able to download the trailers for Phantom Menace. It's like, wow. And they were a big resolution for the day as well. It wasn't these little postage stamp ones that you got and stuff. I was hunting.
Yeah, we got the Phantom Menace 2 months after the US.
Did we? Wow.
We did, yes.
And they wonder why bootlegs were popular back in the day.
Exactly, and I did watch it on a bootleg as well. I think by the time you got to the Attack of the Clones, we got it. Yeah, we got that same day. We got that same day, and the London premiere actually took place 2 days before the worldwide release. It's interesting.
Yeah, Babylon 5 sometimes did that. It was quite funny.
That's right. Yeah, we got it a whole year later, didn't we? It wasn't just a few months. It was a year. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Remember the soundtracks for the prequels came out weeks before the films, and the track listings alone spoiled the movies. Yeah, Death of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
I remember that as well. I don't care, I've already read it, I know he dies. In fact, I can remember watching the film and being gutted knowing that he was going to die because he was like the best character in the whole thing. Martin went to see all 3. Qui-Gon's Funeral was one of the tracks that's not Death of. 99 Phantom Menace, it was. The Radio 4 Star Wars adaptation had parts in it that were cut out of the film, like the Wedge scene on Tatooine. Wedge? Biggs, I think. Sorry, I'm doing that actually thing, aren't I? Sorry.
That's fair in this particular
the PS2 game of Revenge. It had clips from the movie released, I believe, before the film. Oh, okay, interesting. You're knackered then if you complete the game before the film comes out.
Yeah.
You know, and you find out that Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
What?
Biggs. Yeah, I thought so.
But is it? I mean, it's such. Can you imagine the timing these days to actually, not let anything slip? You can understand why Tom Holland was a bloody nightmare for them on Marvel, can't you? It's
Oh, yes. It was a long time ago. We've got back to Star Wars conversation here, haven't we?
I know. What was our second actual topic then?
We've got to kill younglings on one level. Well, before we do, Dave did ask earlier, and I think it's going to be a fairly quick one.
Yeah. Right.
At what age did you stop playing with toys?
Oh, okay. I would say probably kind of 12.
Okay.
Probably when my computer. I mean, I always had computers as a sideline, but it was probably about then that other people's kind of caught up with computers, and maybe that we went 16-bit at that point. So that was kind of when more and more people were getting into computers. So I think I must have left toys behind at about that point, I think. And I transitioned into sort of 2000 AD, like older comics rather than reading the Transformers comic at that point, probably as well.
Okay. Ed?
Yeah, I think if you're talking actual toys, then yeah, probably about 12. About 12. But if you count, things like the Spectrum and stuff like that as a toy, because playing games on it and things like that, then that would have been about 1991.
I don't think I ever particularly stopped. I mean, it's only really lastly that I don't play as many games as I have done on computers. I think also, when you get an offspring. Well, the thing is, I then started playing stuff with him more so. My son.
The thing was, though, I mean, it was like 91 was when I started college in 91. So it was like I had bigger and better things to play with than toys and computers. Let's just put it that way. So
My mum gave everything away to my younger family.
so it's like, so that's it kind of, those were the wilderness years when it comes to that kind of thing. But I kind of picked it back up again. Well, the games thing anyway was 96 when the PlayStation came out. I headed down to Curry's. I can still see it now. Went down to Curry's and got myself a PlayStation.
Okay. Interesting.
Whereas in 90, I think in 97, I was still trying to had my bellows trying to keep the Amiga alive.
Sorry?
Had my bellows trying to keep the Amiga alive into the 97.
No, sorry, it's just the helicopter's just gone over, so I couldn't hear you.
No, so if you remember, do you remember when I think was it Tandy got bought out by Escom, or Dixon bought out by Escom, and Escom took over trying to market the Amiga in their stores at that point, and they had nothing to show on it, so I actually took them a demo disc. I said, "Here, have this, stick it in, and it'll look more exciting."
Well, to be fair, I mean, it was in the 90s. I think it would have been 92, maybe 90. It was somewhere between 91 and 93, anyway. The Amiga and the Atari ST had a bit of a renaissance because in Europe they started bundling them with like big, massive multi-packs of games, and they had like a second lease of life because the Atari ST and the Amiga by that point were probably about 6 or 7 years old. They came out in 1985. So they were old tech by then, but with films such as RoboCop and Batman and Total Recall and Red Heat and things like that, there was getting some good 16-bit games made for them, and they had this renaissance in the early 90s.
Right. Martin says that he stopped playing with toys when his mum got rid of his Star Wars, Action Force, Action Man, and absolutely everything, and gave it to a family with a little lad that had nothing. He came home from school to all of them gone, and that was 1985.
Bless.
and is still not recovered from that trauma.
PTSD.
Amiga Cami says that she still plays her Amiga every day.
I wonder why he's Amiga Cami. I did pick
That
up on
explains it, yeah.
The Amiga is a good machine. It was.
Did it have Street Fighter though?
Yes.
Sorry.
Did it?
It had Street Fighter 2, but it was a sod to load it.
The thing was, back when they both first came out, the Atari ST was the better machine, but the Amiga, like the late 80s, did actually overtake it and became better than the Atari ST.
I like this, what Luke's saying. So what we're saying is the gaming, playing with characters on a screen, became the new toy. So did we ever really stop?
We found a new creative outlet for our battling maze.
Revision was just this weekend. Some amazing demos came out. Oh, cool. And after that, it was on to computers and games consoles. For myself, I don't know. I never. I mean, we've spoke about this before, haven't we? I never stopped collecting toys, and I started collecting rather than playing very, very young. And I do remember I was 10 when I got into Doctor Who. I was 10 when I first saw Doctor Who, and it would have been within the first couple of years that I got the big Dapple TARDIS playset. I should really be looking up there because I've got one there. And I did used to, I don't know if I'd say that I played with them, but I certainly set it up, and I certainly moved the figures around on it and, you know, stood them and posed them as best you possibly could with those kind of figures. I wouldn't call them action figures. I'll stick with figures because they have no action whatsoever. Except the K9, he was pulled back. Some of the Daleks were friction as well. That's action, isn't it? But I can't remember playing with Star Wars figures when I got into those just about 2 years later. I can't remember playing with them 2 or 3 years later. So, yeah, it would have probably been about 12.
Everything Death by Coconut, that would have been embarrassing.
Oh, sorry?
Got a bit of bounty stuck in my throat.
Oh, right, okay. Hello, Richard. How you doing, matey? I was just watching Song Sung Blue, the true story of a couple who sang Neil Diamond songs in the 90s. A good film it was too, and one hell of a diversion from the topic.
Is that the Hugh Jackman one I've seen trailered?
I don't know. No idea. King Diamond song.
Yeah.
Some of our staff at work move about, but not much action. Not sure who King Diamond is. Neil Diamond, won't he? I imagine. All right then. So the next topic then is definitely you, Ed.
Indeed, it is.
Coconut Crisis sounds like a retro video game.
Indeed.
Phil's still with us. He's seen that. It's a good movie. Yes, Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson.
Finger on the pulse. There you go.
Neil Diamond. Ed's just doing a little bit of revision to remind himself what this.
Yeah, I'm just reminding myself what it was that I suggested.
End of the line. Toy, what? Discontinued. That's it. Discontinued toys.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Martin's got the helicopter now.
Yeah.
There is more than one, you know, Martin.
Well, the helicopters are available.
I'm just trying to get back into my mindset as to why I suggested this.
Things you think that went too soon, or?
Right, that's it. So it was to discuss examples of popular toys that were hits, but then quickly became obsolete or discontinued. You know, and to sort of like, you know, so under that umbrella, I would say things such as toys that were tied in with movies or cartoons or franchises. So basically, like a toy that maybe came out, it was a hit, and then it just kind of it just went as quickly as it came. You know,
Visionaries?
Flashes in the pan.
well, not so much flashes in the pan, but kind of like just toys that just generally kind of just became
What's going now?
obsolete. You know, just no longer. And I mean, I made some notes, and I did jot down a few. Oh, excuse me, ideas. Ugh. You know, because there's various different reasons. I mean, one, I will kind of, if I can find it in my notes. Where's my notes? It'd help if I had my reading glasses on.
I don't think that was a hit, Dave. For anyone watching at home, what's he talking about? What's that toy line called? I've completely forgotten. It's gone.
The Warriors of Virtue.
Virtue, that's it. Warriors of Virtue is talking about there.
Yeah. So anyway,
The chat's helping you out.
oh, the helicopter's back. So two toys that I picked out was
Bored himself with his own topic.
Ace what, sorry?
Shark Attack says you've bored yourself with your own topic.
Yeah.
Shark repellent.
And then 30 years later, they appeared from Hasbro as a retro line.
I just got bored of talking to Mutton.
Oh, actually, I've got a good one which you'll see an example of tomorrow. Ha ha ha. Black Hole. We would have had more Black Hole toys, but they cut the line off short. True fact.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, so I'm good. The two examples. I mean, I've got many examples, but two that I'm just going to chuck out there is two. One is a toy that I always wish I had, but I never had, and one is I never had, but my cousin had it, so I did have experience of playing with it, and I do have one now. And that being the Big Track.
Okay.
Now, you see, Big Track was a big hit when it first came out. It was very popular. It was on many a child's Christmas list. I remember seeing the adverts on telly lots and lots of time. Mm-hmm. But it went as soon as it came. And the reason being, from the little bit of research that I did on this, was basically because it became technologically obsolete. You know, and it was limited. It was literally, I equate it to the modern today's version of Big Track is your RoboSen stuff. Yeah,
Your what stuff? Sorry.
Your RoboSen stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's the Big Track of today. Is your RoboSen stuff? Yeah, because it's like you've got an app on your phone. Oh, I can make it transform. I can make it walk. I can make it talk. Right.
That's it.
And it just ends up gathering dust. And it's like Big Track. Big Track, it was like you computed, you put your numbers in, it drove forward, it spun round, it boo, 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 spun round again, and then drove a bit and stopped, yeah?
A bit of boo, boo, boo. Yeah.
And it was just like, it was a novelty and it just wore off really quickly. And like I say, it didn't help as well because the technology
that was around for years.
Quick at the time, it became obsolete. The other one is, so that was 79, so move on 5 years to 1984, and you've got Omnibot 2000.
Ah.
Now, I always wanted an Omnibot 2000, and they were very expensive, and looking back now as an adult, I could understand why maybe adults at the time would have been reluctant to buy them for the kids because, again, it was just a glorified remote control car with a cassette deck in it. Yeah, that's literally all it was. I mean, even remote control cars, back when I was a kid, we would get them. They were kind of like a summer toy. You get them, you play with them for a few weeks through the summer, and then they just get thrown in the bottom of the toy box. You know, your Nikon, or Nico RC, dune buggies or your Porsches or whatever, and they just get tossed to one side. I mean, it didn't help the fact that batteries were so expensive as well back then.
Yeah.
You know, those were a couple of examples. I mean, there were lots of other stuff that came up when I was researching this, and I was quite surprised that in the 90s, when I did this research about, you know, for examples of toys that quickly became obsolete, things like Pogs and Tamagotchi are in there that kind of like came, hit, and then just boom. Just went as quick as they came, kind of thing.
I remember every.
Been around for a few years though.
Well, I think it sort of goes. It will go like this, won't it? There'll be a peak,
And then it'll just boom.
like
It just drops. Yeah.
And some people will keep having them,
Mm.
you know, because it's their thing for whatever reason. But then it just dies. I mean, I remember always wanting the tipper truck for Big Track. That was the one expansion to Big Track there was at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, the tipper trailer. Yeah.
Tipper truck trailer.
You don't want to know how much I sold one of those at auction for.
What, good or bad?
Bad. That and Big Track, both mint in box. The pair went for 15 quid, and that's only last year.
Oh.
Yeah, and I paid the auctioneer 20% out of that to sell it for me.
But they've re-released Big Track since as well. That's the irony.
The tipper they didn't.
Junior Big Track. You know.
So yeah. So anyway, those were the examples I'd looked into. You just go into Pogs there. What I did find out about Pogs were what contributed to them dropping off so quickly as that they came is, and I didn't know this, but then again, in the 90s I wouldn't have been paying attention to it anyway. But there was quite a lot of schools that banned them.
Yes, there was.
And that contributed to the decline of them. You know, because schools banned them, so they just kind of like tailed off. And same with Tamagotchis, the novelty wore off, and it was just like,
We banned them as well.
you know, they were just gone.
Funny thing is, I mean, schools also ban knives, but apparently they're still really popular with the kids.
Yes. The thing is, I mean, all of these things have their day at the end of the day. You know, kids only have. Most kids will only hang on to things whilst they're cool. So if other kids don't think they're cool and someone else finds a new craze, all of a sudden everything gets chucked in the bin, doesn't it?
Very cool. A train that ran up the wall.
That's probably that thing that I found the other day.
Garbage pail kids again, they ran for years.
But the thing is, though, they may have run for years, but I can remember the garbage pail card craze.
Yeah.
And it literally lasted, maybe, it probably didn't even last a whole term.
Yeah.
It was literally probably about, I'll be generous and say about 6 weeks, if that. It was
Really?
literally, you went into school every day, everybody had them in the school bag, and then after a few weeks it were like, no, they were just gone.
It's like everything else. It's like, you know, you'll get some kids who are early adopters. So they'll hear the whispers, they'll jump on it, and then they'll drive the greater uptake.
Yeah.
And then the cool kids will drop it like a rock if they're ever into it in the first place. And then the other kids who are the hangers on to the cool kids go, oh, no, it's really boring now.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then the early adopters will keep on trucking, you know, but that's it. It'll fade into
To
their
be
eye.
fair, I was actually thinking of Cabbage Patch Kids, not Garbage Pail Kids. That was around for years.
Well, you see, you say that in my research that I did here. Cabbage Patch Kids, they fall in the bracket of what's considered the boom and bust toy.
Right.
Which basically means they had a massive demand initially, but because of that massive demand, the popularity peaked very quickly, and then interest in them then basically just dropped off and it cooled.
I
So
think a
they
lot.
had their massive boom, and then
I'm wondering if, because I mean that's one of the top selling toys of the 1980s is the Cabbage Patch Kid, probably because of the big boom at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if they're considering the peak to what it fell off to, which is still outselling most of the toys at the time. I just wonder if they're counting the peak there, that drop off, as being what killed it, and it's like it's still alive after that. It's still selling well after that.
well,
Just
I don't know. I
not-
mean, it's regardless, they're still not selling as well as what they were. So
Well,
there's been a decline,
nothing does it?
you know.
I mean, Transformers was going since '84 until '90. What?
Adventure Collect just described Big Track.
I had one of those cars that you programmed from the top of the roof, and then it did stuff. It was really cool and fun to mess around with. That's Big Track.
Big Track.
Obviously, it was more popular probably when the film came out, '86, and then it would have died off, and everything you got after that. That's why those later ones are harder to find.
Sorry, what's that?
Star Wars figures. They were probably bigger during Star Wars and Empire than they ever were through Jedi, but we still consider them as going all the way up until '85, don't we?
Yeah, but there may have been. So I mean, I can only go off the research I've done. I mean, yes, they may have sold or been releasing them up to '85, but they wouldn't have had anywhere near the popularity that they had through the core years. I mean that plays out by, you know, again, I can use the example of 1983. After Return of the Jedi, literally probably a matter of maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 months after Return of the Jedi came out, the Star Wars toys were all just massively discounted, and they were in discount bins, you know, because they couldn't get rid of them, they couldn't sell them.
I'm just looking now, and Coleco was still making Cabbage Patch Kids 6 years after they were released. There was still, that's how long that was going for. It peaked during '83, but they were still selling all the way up until '87, and then it died off in '88. So,
you know, that could
that's a flash in the pan.
There could be a factor of adult collectors in that as well. Of course, it's possible that there were even then adult collectors who wanted to make sure they had all of them for whatever reason. So it's possible. I mean, the interesting thing about the original, if you think about Star Wars, I think you'd start Star Trek actually up to a certain point in time. You got to Return the Jedi, and then nothing for years. So, you know, if you're into your expanded universe, and yes, you might have been aware of the novelizations, but, you know, and I mean, I suppose there was Power of the Force, wasn't there, as well as an ongoing toy line, but there was nothing, there were no cartoons apart from, you know, Ewoks and droids. There wasn't anything actively continuing the universe at that point. So it's no wonder the toys fell off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I say, you know, kids have short-term memories, and you are moving towards the computer industry's time of things as well. So, you know, any conventional toy was going to start struggling at that point. Best will in the world. But I think it set a standard in the sense that there weren't many toys released in the 80s that didn't have a cartoon backup, or, you know, potentially a comic backup as well. I don't know how much that was the case in the 70s, but I suspect it was much, much less.
No. Cramp.
I was going to say, that's not, you haven't got cats to be attacking you, so that must be something else.
But my nominations for short-lived toys that would now be considered popular at the time would be Visionaries and Supernaturals, both very, very similar.
Yeah, Visionaries definitely got cut. I mean, it had the 13 episodes of cartoon, but they never released the female characters who were in the cartoon, for example. So they could be in the next wave, but then it just didn't happen, of course. Centurions,
second wave, did they?
No, and the Centurions figures remained very, very finite, despite the fact they did introduce more Centurions into the cartoon. I mean, Ulysses, we never got a line worth of damn in the UK, I don't think. We just never saw it. There were Ulysses toys at the time, but never a thing.
And sorry, just going back to it's not a nitpick, but it's just a point. You mentioned Transformers. Transformers have been on the toy shelves since 1984. They've never had a break. There's always been a new toy line out every year, even present day. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Generation 2 never had a cartoon, did it, per se?
No, they recycled the G1 cartoons, but they just had Generation 2 style CGI buffers or bumpers too.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But they did the comic. They had the G2 comic. But yeah, because you had, when G1 came well, kind of came to the end of its life, if you will, that would have been 91. But there were still toy lines. You had stuff like, G2 came in 93, but sorry, 92, but 91, 1991 into 92. You had stuff like all the Dayglow colour ones that just predated slightly the G2 stuff.
Right.
Things like Predators, the Predators, do they call them or something, or they were really like big, chunky, blocky plastic. The names escape me, but if I'm sure if I Google it, I'd find it. But yeah, there was a constant from 84 all the way through. It didn't have a break.
Because it's interesting as well, because I mean, one, it's not quite the same as that from our point of view, but I'm not sure that Zoids ever disappeared in Japan.
No, I don't think they did.
So they just get, and even arguably even Thunderbirds toys in Japan, actually they probably kept on trucking as well, because they always seem to love them. Well, these model kits and that sort of thing, they, it always seems to sort of maintain an existence in Japan. Because I remember when I came back to Zoids, when I first got Sky, I think, and I saw they were this sort of they were doing that sort of games version of Zoids on the cartoon. I'd never seen a Zoids cartoon before. I was like, they have Zoids cartoons now? What? That was when the Liger got introduced, I think. And then of course, there was obviously a whole slew of Zoids cartoons in Japan, but we never got any of that. We just edged into sort of Zoids 2 territory, and then I remember the toy line just fell off at that point here. But obviously they just kept trucking in Japan, and maybe I don't think they've ever really filtered back here, have they? Apart from in the hands of collectors.
Oh, excuse me.
I don't think they've ever had a proper re-release here as such, past Zoids 2. Gav's gone quiet.
Gareth's Googling.
No, I was listening.
I know, furiously Googling.
I'm looking at the comments down the side.
I can hear the tippy typing of keys.
We see Silverhawks, and what's the fishy version of Thundercats called?
The what?
There's a fish version of Thundercats. What's it bloody called? I can't remember. But they were like one season wonders, so of course they didn't get massive toy lines. Can't remember what it was called now.
I suppose you could probably look like She-Ra. She-Ra toys, they only did 1 year, did they? 1-2 year? If that.
Tiger Sharks.
Hmm?
Tiger Sharks is the spin-off of Thundercats.
Yes. Oh yes, Shark Attack. Was it? Of course, Shark Attack Media knew that. I mean, why wouldn't he?
Like a mice from Mars.
Thunderfish. No, not Thunderfish.
Catfish. Maybe it was called Catfish.
You're just trying to mislead us, aren't you, Ed?
Oh, well, VR Troopers was one of those that wasn't VR Troopers. It's just what we called it over here and in the States.
Yeah.
Come on, you should know this, being a Power Rangers fan.
Power Rangers.
It was something they trialled on the success of Power Rangers, but because it didn't take off like Power Rangers did, they didn't carry it on. But it was still going strong in Japan.
Legions of Power.
Oh yes.
That's not one I'm familiar with, to be fair.
That's that Tonka one, isn't it? The construction.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was another one that was. They bought the license from some Japanese toy company or toy thing and brought it over here, but I don't think it lasted very long.
My Pet Monster, definitely a wonder.
They're quite cheap to pick up now, which is why I picked one up to see what it was what it was made of.
There were a
Oh, so that's a good one, yeah.
there was one in the, I think it would have been early 80s, I think, early maybe mid 80s, called Wrinkles, and it was like a puppet dog.
Oh.
Did they do Fall Guy toys?
Ertl did a full guide truck.
Yeah, they did a truck, yeah.
Silverhawks.
Silver.
Oh, I got the Fortnite toys. They disappeared.
They're still around, actually. I have seen them relatively recently. Yeah, it's still a thing. And Lego do Fortnite sets as well, actually. They've got a tie-in with them.
Well, they've got the license. I don't know if they're actually still doing any.
I have seen some relatively recently sets.
Does anyone care about that Beast Wars figure box set that's coming out? They've still got a load of Megatrons and Optimus Primals that they really need to get rid of, haven't they? Did Action Jacks have a small run?
Well, Action Jacks were a knockoff of Mobile, whatever it was called, the match.
Armored Command Mac.
When my nephew was young, Stretch Armstrong was still available. He wanted the big red bad guy, Vacman or something. Yeah.
It's like Slinky Springs and Rubik's Cubes, though, isn't it? You know, there are certain things that defy time.
I did check
And
this
not
last
linked
week.
to
And
time.
it's gone now.
Well, it's like, yeah, I mean, like the Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's Cube was the #1 selling toy for its period. And you can still buy Rubik's Cubes now, but they're just not popular anymore. It's just kind of like those, an impulse buy almost kind of thing. It's like, there's a Rubik's Cube there, let's get that. You know, what do we buy his nephew for Christmas that we see probably twice a year? Oh, we'll get him a Rubik's Cube. You know, it's that.
But it's a funny thing though, because I remember when I used to sort of scan the Entertainer for stuff for my son. Obviously, my eye was drawn to stuff that I recognised. I saw a surprising number of Rubik's-esque products that were still on the shelves. They had like 12 inches of shelf space, but they were still there.
They ran for about 13 years, 86 until 99.
Wow.
So they did quite a good long run, did Micro Machines.
Mm.
I did check that last time, to be fair. Super 7 just reissued them. The Tiger Sharks, yeah. They're, well, not reissued, but they're doing their versions of them. It'd be nice if someone would actually just reissue the original toys. The LOWBOT figures. What?
Yeah, they made a series of figures.
Tiger Sharks figures, they look pretty good.
Like they were very similar to the Black Hole figures, that they had the metal rivets for joints.
Goblins, do you mean Boglins? Yeah, that were another short-lived one, really.
Goblin.
It was one of those kind of things that was everywhere, though, because they did all the different sizes, didn't they?
Well, the thing is,
There were even serial exclusive ones.
the thing is, the sheer weight of impact of those things can't really be underestimated, though, because people still remember them 40-odd years on.
Red cellophane fish that was supposed to tell your future by how you curled it up in your hand. That rings a bell, does that?
I thought he'd been having some interesting pills. Okay.
No, I kind of remember that. It basically, it would curl up in your hands, but it was based on how warm your hand was. It was such a really thin piece of plastic. Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that was a craze for a bit, wasn't it? Where you test
party thing.
how warm your thumb was and stuff. You know?
Yeah. Yep, Boglins. Did Voltron gain any traction in the UK?
Yes.
Dude, it was made by Matchbox.
Allegedly.
It's gone.
Don't worry.
No,
He's sticking his nose or scratching his ass. If he's doing well, I hope he does it in the right order.
I can't remember. I can't remember how I came to know about Voltron.
Yeah, that's one of them.
But my son came to Voltron through Netflix and through a modern series of it. I found it once on a DVD with Peter Cullen doing some of the voices and so on, for like a vehicle Voltron rather than the line Voltron. But I knew of the line Voltron. And I got my son with some difficulty all of the line Voltrons from this new, was it a DreamWorks series or something
It
like
was
that?
DreamWorks, specifically for Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, and I got all of those together at exactly the time he then fell out of love with the show. So that was the shortest played ever. And I had all of them so you could make the big Voltron Gestalt.
Yeah.
Zero interest 5 seconds later. That was an expensive way to make.
See, that's a prime example of what I've always said about Netflix and stuff dropping in one go.
Yes.
Because everything drops. And it's not just Netflix, it's Amazon Prime, it's Disney Plus. It's the whole series drops. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is my new thing. This is what I'm into. You go out and buy the toys. They've already seen the whole series and they've moved on to something else. Whereas back when Luke was watching Power Rangers, it was, 24 episodes across 24 weeks? And then they were repeating. So it was the whole year, it was 6 months to a year. that you were watching that.
And again, it also just again, that is reflected in the availability periods of toys full stop these days, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Stomper 4x4s, don't think they lasted long.
Was that the 18 ones you're thinking of?
Rough Riders.
Rough Riders, yeah.
Rough Riders, okay.
Yeah.
Random, one Bratz doll, you used to see them all the time in the early 2000s. Yes, you did. And then they kind of got replaced by Monster High, which, let's face it, they're infinitely superior. Monster High's come back, Bratz didn't. Yes, I am pushing a girls' doll line because I think they're cool, and I have kids, girls that played with them. They played with them. Well, I say they played with them. They undressed them, they undid their hair and tangled them up, and then threw them in a corner.
That's playing.
Is that playing? Okay.
Apparently so, yeah.
Joe, hello. I've got a
Really
nice shirt. I should form a band called the Hawaii Guys. A band of one. Okay, cool. Them red fish you get in crackers now. Oh, do you get them in crackers? That doesn't surprise me. Lucky fish, they're called, apparently. Thank you, Lydia. You still get those in Christmas crackers, those plastic fish. I had one last year. Okay. Did you have many Easter eggs? No, Joe, I've always been this fat. So you didn't have the Voltron cartoon in the UK in the 80s. Did you get the cartoon? I can't remember.
I didn't have the cartoon, but I bet people with Sky got the cartoon. Possibly.
Yeah, it wasn't shown on terrestrial TV.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, if you had stuff like B Sky B back then or whatever it were called, it would have been on there.
I mean, picture much smaller, much thinner me on a bike, going to every sort of VHS rental store in town in the desperate quest to find something interesting to watch. And I would inevitably delve for the Japanese sort of animated stuff that we got badly dubbed here, which could have included Voltron at the time. So it's quite possible I found a way, knowing me, to get my fix of things of that nature. So it's possible, but I couldn't swear to it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Dave's saying the original Micronauts figure line didn't last long because they were too delicate, which is weird because they're still going in Japan. How about that? Or something similar is anyway. Going back and watching 80s cartoons, some still hold up like Transformers and Masters of the Universe, but Voltron is pretty bad.
The thing is,
Transformers doesn't hold up now.
I don't think it does either.
Does it hell? Jesus Christ.
The thing is, what I love about things like Power Rangers and Vehicle Voltron, Vehicle Voltron must have required them to join together about 16 separate vehicles in an intricate interlinking operation. I'm just saying, just shoot one of them, and they can't make the robot. Shoot one while they're doing all that. It's staying still. It's in one place. Shoot it now.
I consider myself somewhat of a Transformers fan myself. But even I will admit that the Transformers cartoon from the 80s is absolutely horrific.
I do enjoy the movie, the 86 movie.
The movie.
I enjoyed that. But I do think the soundtrack does half of the work there.
Every day of the week and twice on Sunday. But to be fair, the first season of the Transformers cartoon is okay. That can stand up to repeat viewing. But past sense, yeah. After that, it's just like no, all bets are off. It's just like what the hell.
I will say, I do think that the 86 movie makes you beg the question of why wasn't war over quicker? Because it, you know, Megatron walks into the ship, blast, 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 blast. Autobots all dead. What's he been doing for the last 2 years? Why didn't he do that during season 1 and 2?
There wasn't the need to bring in new toys for most of the war, you think.
I know this, but I'm talking from a story point of view.
And that was bloody brutal, it has to be said.
Well, what I find quite interesting, and you may or may not know this,
wait for it,
but they actually started work on Transformers the movie in 1984.
Oh, really?
Yes. So while they were producing the first series of the cartoon, they were also working on the movie. That's how far in advance Hasbro had all this mapped out.
Right.
Yeah, animation cells. Yeah.
So it wasn't just some random decision to get rid of these characters just because of the movie. It was all mapped and laid out from the get-go, you know. So
Gosh, yeah.
so it was like, yeah, there you go. It was like, I think there's if you go on the internet, you can find there's early drafts of the story and animation models of characters that are dated 84, 85, like Ultra Magnus. I think there's a drawing of Ultra Magnus, and I think that's dated something like February of 85 or something like that. You know, it's quite early. Yeah. So it was being planned. It was all planned and mapped out.
I don't think they did actually, Lydia. No, I don't think they ever did that. No.
But the reason why the movie does look different is because there was more money and for a better animation studio, and you know, it was just animated a hell of a lot better.
Oh, we mentioned Playmobil earlier, Richard. Yes. Did anyone get any of the DC Kinder eggs with Playmobil figures? No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I was never a fan of Playmobil.
No.
No,
Okay.
it wasn't my
I
kind of
remember it being very
Playmobil.
expensive Playmobiles. I don't think my son got maybe 2 examples of it. And actually, it was really good. It was very solidly built. But they're also very big. So if you've got limited storage space, not that great actually.
Cammy still says she enjoys the cartoons.
And that's great. That's great. I'm happy that you.
Time, but you know, it is what it is.
Dave does say that he still enjoys watching them, but only because he grew up on them. So he's getting that nostalgia kick, you know. Yeah. But she didn't get to. On the other hand, Cammy says she didn't get to see the cartoons growing up because she's deaf and nothing had subtitles back in the 80s and 90s. So she had to play catch up once everything came out on DVD. Well, I do hope that our subtitles are accurate to what we're actually saying.
Sorry, what? Sorry, what was that? What did you say?
Oh, don't, Ed.
Nobody gets off the hook with me. I'm a equal opportunities piss taker. I will take the piss out of everybody.
He wasn't allowed to do it on prime time television. He bided his time.
What's that?
I don't know what that's referring to.
No, I don't. Wasn't allowed to do
Oh,
what?
Megatron, I think. Megatron, I think I often...
Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. Britain.
Oh, right. Yes. Sorry.
They lasted a long time. It seemed like Play School toys, the Ecto 1 and DeLorean, however, are pretty good. And the Star Trek ships, he's talking about Playmobil again. Yes. Megatron killing everyone. Yeah, we figured that one out, Mario. I keep forgetting you're a couple of minutes behind. Yeah, fair enough.
Strictly speaking, I think the kills actually have to go to Starscream because he was pulling the trigger. Just saying. Which personally is a daft thing to do as well, because Megatron transforms into a teeny tiny gun and places him into Starscream's hands.
You know what's weird is that we know where that trigger is on Megatron, and it's a bit weird that somebody else has to pull it in order for Megatron to, shoot his load.
So that's it for this evening, everybody.
Not on
Join
the
us
animation
for the next 2 weeks.
In fact, but the thing is, though, if you think about it,
And you have.
the fact that Megatron transforms into a gun
Yes.
and allows himself to be handled by others to pull the trigger and fire
Yes.
basically shows how badass he is, that he thinks, I'm so tough and so completely and utterly in charge. I can do this because I know nobody's going to, mess
Well,
with
they're
me.
going to look pretty daft if they start to squeeze and he just flips around and shoots them square in the head. So, yeah.
But anyway, it was a cartoon to sell toys. It doesn't bear to think it any deeper of it than that.
Shark Attack is asking about your Shining Magnus.
Oh, yeah. So it's the X-Transbots translucent yellow plastic Ultra Magnus.
Also known as Rabbit Hole.
There you go. You have to excuse my lighting. My lighting setup's rubbish tonight, so you can't really see it properly, but it's there.
It is rather gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah.
Pardon?
It is rather gorgeous.
It is nice. It is nice. You can still pick it up. It's still out there.
I saw it not long before I first saw it on your shelf back there. Or before, did you share pictures of it?
Oh, there's pictures of it on my Instagram account.
Yeah, I think it was just before you'd received it. Then I must have seen Kapow or someone sharing that it was in stock or it was just about to land. And I can remember seeing the pictures pop up on my Facebook feed, and I was just like, "That's really nice." Is that? I was like, "That's really nice." I'll just go and look into it a little bit more. And I was like, "No, because you don't need this guy. If you don't collect Transformers, don't go for it just because it's shiny." No pun intended. But I was like, "No, it's Ed's thing. Leave it to Ed." Megatron likes being played with.
We see at one point. I mean, I remember thinking this even when I was quite little. There was a point in the G1 cartoon where Megatron transforms into his gun mode and puts himself in Optimus's hands. I'm just thinking, just snap him in half. Job's done. Game over.
Megatron is essentially Charles Manson. Sometimes called Piss Megatron by Piss Magnus. Sorry.
If your piss is that colour, I think you need antibiotics.
Or more water.
Yeah, or more water.
Megatron could be a Trump variant.
Trump variant.
Because he likes Starscream playing with his trigger.
Yeah, I don't get that analogy. No.
Oh, Magatron.
Magatron. Variant. Okay. Would it be red with white writing on it?
Very probably.
Or would it be orange with a gold dome? Change subject. Phil doesn't want us talking about Transformers.
Yeah, but
Dave Ewan is quite healthy.
I'm quite surprised at Phil's intolerance. It's like,
it's very Nazi-like when it comes to Transformers.
Well, the thing is,
which is weird because he liked my Grandstand Converters video the other day.
The thing is, it's Airwolf's his thing, isn't it? Is it Airwolf? Is Airwolf Phil's thing?
Doctor Who's his thing. He just happens to like die-cast models of pretty things out of...
Right. It shows you how much attention I pay.
Correct.
Who's the Airwolf chap?
Steve.
Is that Steve? Yeah. I failed to mention this the other day when he put the picture up in the discussion group, which you may find interesting. There's actually pictures of it on the internet as well.
There's pictures on the internet?
Back in the... I think it would have been the late 80s. I think it was the late 80s. When Myra Hindley was assisting the forces in locating where certain people were hidden, let's say, upon the moors.
Always look on the bright side.
She was actually taken to the moors in the same helicopter that they used for Airwolf.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the same model, not the same helicopter.
Surely not.
No, it was the same make and model of helicopter she was transported to the moors in.
That would have made for a very interesting episode.
It would have done, yeah.
Yeah.
First ejection from Airwolf. That could have been messy, yeah.
Or Airhawk, as it should have been called.
Indeed.
Okay, well, I think those two topics have done us for tonight. We have made the 2-hour mark nearly, but before we go, we'll do what we always do. And have we got any new pickups that we want to show?
I've got a couple of little things. One of which you might have seen already, mind, but
not the actual Airwolf. Then says Chris. Disappointing.
No, it wouldn't have been. It would have run out of petrol long before getting over here. Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me.
He's got some wind tonight, hasn't he?
Am I to show and tell then?
Yeah, go for show and tell. Yeah.
Now this was quite funny. I got this from eBay. I think I'd already committed to it at that point, and the guy said to me, and he was probably in Japan, and he sort of said, "You do know how big this is, right?" I went, "Yes." This is just a little. It's a teeny tiny Gashapon Diex. I actually think it's bloody marvellous because it's incredibly detailed.
Move it in front of your face. Move it in front of your face. I just wanted to see whether or not your camera had autofocus on it. Obviously.
Well, there you go. It's more focused now, but it's further away.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That's kind of what happens with cameras, you know.
Very cool.
But it's very cool. So this would have come out of one of those little plastic ball machines, I guess. And
Yeah, would you?
but that's quite big. I mean, if it came out like that, that's actually still relatively large.
Do the arms not come out? A lot of times with the gashapons, they come to pieces. Oh,
Yeah,
they're in-
I assume he's been assembled.
Yeah.
Would be my guess as well, because he's so sort of outstretched, you know. But very cool though.
I didn't get entire way through the series. Is there a reason why he stood like that? Is that a thing?
Yeah, sometimes he just has a celebratory stretch when he's finished kicking ass, basically. Yeah.
If you watch the intro, he raises his arms up like that in the intro.
Right, okay.
I think just to demonstrate that it can do it, basically.
Oh, that's Airwolf, that is. That
Either that or
is
the
awesome, says Chris.
the guy in the suit just lifted his arms up at the appropriate time.
Well, you see, I think with that, that might have been the model version.
Really
Could be wrong. There were two versions of him. Other thing I wanted to mention, I'm just quickly checking that I don't misspeak this. Give me a sec. Talk amongst yourselves. Yes, this is a minigram acrylic riser, which isn't very exciting to show on screen because it's see-through and everything. But you could get a pack of 4 of these for like 20 quid. And what I discovered, which was somewhat accidental, or like I kind of knew when they arrived, is that I'd gotten one of these for a Detolf, which turned out to be slightly longer than this. So I could stack this on top of the Detolf one and get 2 layers from this, and a fiver plus a go. This was quite good value, and it's got non-slip feet on it as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's quite handy that. So I found that quite useful this morning when I was trying to stack things for obvious reasons. The only other thing I was just going to mention was my cool Swansea dog I picked up from my. That was on my Manic Miners pickup video, but I still think it's cool.
Manic Miner?
Yes.
Not that Manic Miner.
No.
Lastly,
No, but he named the shop Manic Miner song after the game.
Cyborg, Mutant, and Android figures were popular for one Christmas around 78.
Yep.
Yeah, they passed me by completely, but I understand that they're still popular after the fact.
I had some of them as a kid.
Ah.
I wish I still had them, but I don't. The one that I do, the 2 that I distinctly remember was one of them had, it was like an orange suit that you put on it.
Yeah, there we go. Spooky.
And the other had a skull with horns and like a skeleton suit that you put over it.
Nice.
Yeah, long lost to time now.
Well, I have to watch my video tomorrow night. You might see it again because there are some Micronauts present on that one.
Yeah, Dennis Fisher's.
Okay, Ed, have you got anything to show us?
No, nothing. No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
I don't feel the need to buy things every week.
that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough.
I'm not addicted. I don't have a problem.
No, I just need to buy things to display things on. That's
Fine.
I'm unlike Zamo Maguire. I am able to say no.
I don't know who Zamo Maguire is.
I'm thinking Grange Hill.
It's Grange Hill, yes.
Booyah!
Zamo Maguire.
Ed's camera isn't on, by the way. He keeps turning it off.
Yeah, keep turning it off.
Pickup was. I'm specifically going pickups here. I picked up a pink Lego car.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You big girl's blouse.
Look at what I'm wearing. In fact, I think it kind of goes. Yeah, so got that. I'm now on to about 5-speed champions now. It's not going to become a thing. I swear it's not going to become a thing. As you may or may not have seen at the end of yesterday's video. Yeah, yesterday's video. I filmed it yesterday. That was quick work. I've got some Godzilla trading cards that I'm going to be doing an unboxing with. 12 packs in there. Yeah, 12 packs in there. 7 cards a pack. So you'll get to.
You won't know who Tucker Jenkins is either.
No. Oh, Tucker. I think I know Tucker. Yeah. That rings a bell, but the Jenkins doesn't. And then I did have a birthday last week, so I got a couple of pieces worth showing you from that. I say a birthday, I only have the one a year. I'm not like the Queen or the King now. Another Lego set, Home 1 Star Cruiser. So Moncal, let you see in Return of the Jedi, Moncal Star Cruiser. I think that's the little medical ship that it comes with as well. Yeah, it is. Medical frigate at the side of it there. That one. This one. It was bought off my Amazon wish list. And I do feel sorry for the person that bought it for me, because I know that it wasn't cheap. Zelda Twilight Princess, all 11 volumes of the manga, which I already have, but it was on my wish list because I don't have it in the collector's box.
Tell me, Gareth, have you read them all? Have you read them all?
No, I haven't. I read the first one. I decided I didn't like it.
If I could slap you, I would.
So yeah, he's got some nice images on it, and since this will stay sealed, that's all I'll see. So I get my enjoyment out of it that way.
He's got a box set of manga, and he says it's got some nice images on the box.
Yeah.
The whole thing is images. It's a comic.
Yeah, I know, and I've got them separately.
Good Lord.
And Dave will like this one, another birthday present.
Is it a loincloth? No.
No, different Dave. Different Dave will like this. Yeah, Minecraft Volume Alpha, whatever that is. Music from the game, the ambient music. And it's a transparent green. There's a difference between transparent and translucent. Yeah, transparent green coloured vinyl. So yeah, there we are. Thank you, Mario. It's a bit late. I don't broadcast my birthday till after the fact.
No, you get that very quiet. Yeah.
I don't want anyone feeling obliged or obligated to get anything or whatnot. And I also got rid of it off Facebook because I don't like people. Strangers, total strangers, messaging you or leaving messages on your wall to say happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
I don't know
why,
who you are.
why are you on Facebook then?
Yeah, I don't know who you are.
You can't make yourself visible to friends.
Dave's got the Minecraft LP. Is it the same one? Cool. Flipping it, Gareth. I think that's regarding the Zelda thing. Tucker's look. You're Bronson, Martin? See, I know Mr. Bronson. Yes, I know Mr. Bronson. That's because he said my Bronson. Fair enough. Yeah, I think I've caught up with the chat now. Yes. So yeah, not loads, just a few bits. I'm gonna have to build some of this stuff. So it turns out we didn't need to do toy news, did we? Really?
Not really.
I'm gonna get rid of that window now. We've managed a 2 and a bit hours live stream without much of toy news. Cool. Oh, do either of you want to plug anything you've got coming up?
I can. I've got a great big hour-long video tomorrow. Starts at 7. So it blends seamlessly into his video at 8, more or less.
Other way.
Give or take 60 seconds. His video.
No?
Video.
You're pointing at me, Andy.
I'm pointing at, on my screen, I'm pointing at Ed, but anyway, okay.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, so that is my tour around Books Collectibles. The first half is a museum, the second half is a shop, but it's all in one video.
Okay.
You may arrive at whichever time suits you best, basically.
Right, when you asked my opinion, our opinion the other day about the Books Collectible thing,
Yes.
If it was going to be half and half, I would have probably said do the museum as one video and the shop as another one. But it's too late now. It's done.
It's too late now.
You specifically said the museum, though. You never mentioned the shop.
Well, I wasn't going to ignore the shop, was I? No. So it's 1 hour long.
Andy, what's your channel called?
Excelsior's Domain is my channel, sir.
I need to. I just realised something I didn't do today.
You haven't put the names on the screen. He hasn't put the names on the screen. What are the scores on the doors, please? Come on. Tinker, tinker, tinker.
No, I just realised it needs to be tagged in the.
I'm probably following you, Adventure Collect. I suspect it. In the first place, you should be able to find me amongst your followers.
It's Cosmic Council done. We will. Oh no, you don't do that. Ed, have you got anything coming up? I know you've got something coming up tomorrow. Do you want to tell them all about it? No, not really. Why would I want to do that?
There you go. And that's my sideline as a ventriloquist.
Uncanny.
I have an episode of the back catalogue. This week it is featuring tracks.
Yes. I had tracks because he had wings. So that was cool.
There you go.
I liked Tracks until I heard his voice in the cartoon, and then I was just like, nah, I don't like him. That's Excelsior's Domain. I think that's everything.
Well, that will be addressed in the video tomorrow.
I'll do it. Interesting.
At least I think it will. I think it's 3 weeks since I did that, so I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure I'd seen that up before, and then it got taken down. You know,
No.
as an upcoming.
No, you're thinking of the Collector's Archive reopened.
Oh, yes, maybe. Yeah.
Because that was going to go out
Yeah, I remember that as well.
Sunday just gone. But I received a threat that it wasn't allowed to go out on Sunday. I was threatened. In the most.
See, I knowing that it's Dave you're talking about, I don't think you were threatened. I don't think.
No, I was threatened in the most girly way possible.
No offense to Dave, but I don't think he could be.
No, it was a very humorous text message to which I promptly rang him.
There was no threat. There was a promise.
It was like, Dave, it's me. Stop being a big girl's blouse.
So
yeah,
for myself, I've got nothing filmed, nothing ready to go. It's entirely possible that could be the very next video. I don't know. I keep saying I'm going to do an unboxing of that gold Lighton Shugokin up there, but it hasn't happened. I've also got a Joy Toy, which I've had at least 6 months that I've not opened. That's Alfarius.
However, sorry if I could just quickly interject, but there may be a bit of a break in my content.
Okay.
Because I'm wanting to redecorate and rearrange up here in the vault. So there may be a bit of a break in my content. I haven't decided yet when I'm going to do it. But if I'm
I agree. It does.
If I can be a bit more proactive, I may try to do enough to cover while I do the rearranging. But that's only to be asked.
Do you think you'll still be joining us while you do it, or will the council?
Yeah, but I might be on my phone.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I very nearly did tonight on the phone out in the garden, but I knew that it probably got dark by the time.
Or if it's not on the phone, I might rejig and do it from my other computer.
Okay.
But I will have to rearrange certain things where the other computer is. So, because It's areas of the vault that you don't need to see.
You've shown us round the vault, haven't you?
No, I'm talking the wider vault, the sub-level.
Oh, right, okay.
Of the vault.
The sub.
Yeah. So you might have to fire up Teletran 2. Uh-oh.
Teletran 2.
You almost sniggered then, Andy.
What?
You almost sniggered then. You might have to fire up Teletran 2. What's he back?
I'm probably not remembering the name right.
It was Teletran 2 because Teletran 1 was destroyed by Triptychon.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
When he destroyed the Ark. Triptychon destroyed the Ark and Teletran 1 was destroyed, so they had to create Teletran 2, which was based on Cybertron, but it had remote access from Autobot City on Earth.
Interesting.
I mean, there is a bit of a rumour that it was done because Casey Kasem left the Transformers cartoon.
Take the hint. Thanks, lads. See you all next time. Says Mario. It's like, I'm done now. Come on, bye. And that's not even Phil.
Yeah. See, he didn't like... There was an episode, I think it was in the second season, that portrayed like Middle Eastern characters in a negative light, and apparently Casey Kasem took exception to this, and he quit. He quit the cartoon.
Right.
But to be fair, it's a rumour. There's no, because I think if I remember rightly, Casey Kasem did not voice Teletran 2 in the cartoon anyway, so it must have recorded it before he left.
Okay.
Anyway, enough. I know. Phil would love to listen to this show.
Take care, everyone. Thank you, fellas.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's 20 past. It's 20 past 10.
Yes, it certainly is. Yes.
Come on, everyone, go away.
Right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, me. Okay. For taking part in tonight's live stream. It's been a blast as always. Thank you very, very much. I don't have anything coming up, like I said. So on that, good night.
Bye.